Welcome to the Increase the Conversion Power of Your Copy, our brand messaging workshop. Thank you for jumping in and watching this, whether you are a savvy startup course student who is working out that core messaging for the system that you're building, or maybe you wanted this workshop because you're a business owner and you know you need help writing copy. This is a great place for you. I want to spend some time teaching strong copywriting skills, as well as give you the resources that you need to really work through your own business messaging. And that's going to mostly come in the form of applying what we're going to talk about to a downloadable worksheet that is available to you if you've grabbed this course or this workshop somewhere. In the course, it's going to be in the lesson down below. Or if you're just doing this workshop as like a one-off training, then you, I'm sure, got an email with that download attached to it. So you're going to want to go grab that, open it up. You don't have to work through it yet. You probably just want to absorb the teaching and training that I'm going to do in the next few minutes, and then probably go back to that worksheet and actually apply it for your business. First of all, if you didn't already know, I'm Lindsay Wagnon. I am teaching this workshop because I've got a history of marketing in my background, and it's very heavy in copywriting. Teaching people how to write great copy and sharpen those communication skills, I think, is everything, not only to great marketing, but also business ownership. The more you learn how to communicate well as a business owner, the better your business is going to do all around. So I hope that what I have to share with you, based off of a pretty extensive copywriting background that includes everything from blogging for SEO back in like 2005, when that was a whole thing. I know I'm aging myself, but yeah, we're going all the way back to that. Then years of journalism and lifestyle magazine writing. And then after that, years of just being a copywriter for marketing agencies, and then being in a bigger corporate marketing environment, leading copywriting teams, leading larger creative teams as a sales marketing director. You get the picture. I've been doing copy forever. So I'm going to bring my best tips for you, but I promise it's going to be on the level of somebody who doesn't necessarily have a lot of experience writing copy and just really needs help with the pillar pieces. Today, of course, if you're in the course, you already know this, but if you're not in the course, you might not know this. I'm really leaning into startup sales marketing systems that are heavy on automation, which means we do a lot of our copywriting for our system and for our business up front, and we want to make sure we get it right. I'm also a pastor's wife, a mom of 2 little girls. I try to run marathons when I can. I have a little garden in my backyard that I'm obsessed with, and I'm musical. I sing and play piano when I can. All right, so let's jump into it. What we're going to cover in this workshop, really 4 kind of critical things. Actually 3 critical things, and then I'm going to leave you to workshopping your own brand copy based on what we talk about. First of all, the mindset of a strong sales copywriter, the mindset and where your mind is at and how you're thinking about it is everything to being able to write your copy better. And we're going to really unpack that today. That's actually really unpacked too in that first page of your worksheet. So if you feel like this is kind of a crash course and you need to rethink through everything we've talked about, don't worry, it's all in that worksheet. Second, the importance of keywords to marketing copy. There are multiple reasons having a kind of fine-tuned list of keywords are really critical. First of all, because of SEO, everything online is very search heavy and becoming more search based all the time. So I'm not just talking about being found in Google. I'm talking about even social media platforms, and what you put in your profile or your bio on there really needs to be keyword search friendly. And so the types of things you're writing over and over again for your marketing, really, if you can bring back keywords and key phrases that are speaking to your ideal customer over and over again, then you're going to lock in really great messaging. And then we're going to go through 3 kind of pillars of brand messaging, and I'm going to unpack how you need to be thinking strategically about each of those 3 things to get that right, so that as you're bringing in leads through whatever you might be bringing in leads through, they're coming to the core messaging, whether that's on your website, whether that's talking with you in person, whether that is your profiles that they're finding in different places, like maybe LinkedIn. You need to make sure that wherever you're directing people, they're seeing the best copywriting that you possibly can get out. And we're going to try and fine tune that today. All right, so let's talk about what effective messaging is really all about and boils down to. It's really all about who. If you can get the who right, then you can get the words right. Who do you want to work with and serve the most? And that the most part is critical. It's there for a reason. Most of us as business owners, we feel really like, I would say maybe guilty about trying to be there for everyone, or we feel pressured to kind of be wide open in who we're working with, because we're programmed to like not alienate people, right? We're programmed to include and to make sure we're not turning away a potential paying client. But that backfires when we are trying to do our marketing and trying to get actual sales for our business. Because if you're too broad and too general, then people are on the other end reading what you're writing are going to go, that's kind of me, but I'm kind of looking for something more specific. So I don't really know if this person is offering exactly what I want, because they're being picky. They're being picky about the businesses they use, who they work with, who they jive with, where they're a good fit. So you can be picky as a business owner and be clear and say, I specifically want to work with this type of person or serve this type of person or sell products that are made for this type of person. You have permission to be picky. Let's talk through an example of this. Let's say you're a fitness instructor and you're starting to establish your business, and you're like, well, I mostly want to focus on working with women. Great. But that's very broad. You may have narrowed it down some, but let's think about, okay, well, just women everywhere. Are you in a certain geography? Are you, better at working with certain types of women than others? Like, let's be honest about this. So getting a little bit more focused, maybe you then decide, okay, I'm a fitness instructor, but really I like more that personal coaching style. And I'm really good at being flexible with my schedule. And I'm very passionate about wanting busy women to find time in their schedule to work out. We're getting somewhere. So then you go to, okay, I'm a personal fitness coach and I train busy women. Okay, we're getting somewhere, but that maybe can get even more narrow. Can you get more narrow with it? Ask yourself that, like for real. Can I get more focused and narrow? All right, so I am really good about, and I kind of understand like ambitious career women because I've been that. So that is who I jive with well. So maybe I am a personal fitness coach who does on-demand training for ambitious career women. Bingo. That is who you want to work with and serve the most. And you know what? Your audience is going to appreciate that clarity. Let's also talk about who do you want to avoid attracting to your business, because you don't have time to be answering questions over and over again from the wrong people. And if you've got any business ownership experience and you've been working with some people or selling products for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, yeah, oh, I've had some clients that I wish I would have weeded out better at the beginning. Well, your copy can help you weed those leads out, not only by being very specific in who you want to work with, but also by being careful that you're not too wide open to bringing in people who are like, okay, well, yep, like I'm busy because I've got, a busy schedule with kids, but I'm looking for a personal coach who also offers childcare while we're doing our training sessions. You're like, I'm not really equipped for that. I can't do that. So let's make sure we're not having to constantly vet people because our messaging is not clear to begin with. So it can be helpful just to kind of write down, all right, who do I want to be careful I'm not attracting to my business? What do you want your ideal customer to feel when they purchase from you, when they work with you? I know that the copywriting advice out there is just lean in on the solution, but I want to go one step further and say lean in on the feeling. Lean in on when they take you up on your services, when they work with you, when they buy what you offer. What is that feeling that they're going to have? Well, when you are specific about who you want to work with, then knowing how they want to feel comes easier. So let's go back to the personal fitness coach. When you know I'm a personal fitness coach who really enjoys working with that kind of ladder climbing, corporate focused, ambitious career woman, and let me tell you what they need because I know that person. They need energy. They need energy for their schedule, for their day, and their strength is getting sapped because they're not making time to work out and they're exhausted, but they don't realize, or maybe they do realize it, but I can really push them on this that listen, let's do the 30-minute on-demand workouts 4 days a week. And I can guarantee you're going to get energy. You're going to find energy you didn't know you had. And so there's your kind of platform as this personal coach. And you're tapping into that feeling that you want to give them. Fantastic. Another example that I had a client who did charter piloting for like business executives and stuff like that. And it was, like within a certain radius and all of that. So what is that charter pilot offering? A business executive who is really busy, who needs to be able to go 2 hours away on like on a moment's notice, be somewhere in the afternoon and come back by the evening. Like, I don't know that life, but there are people who have that life. Maybe you're one of them. But what is this charter pilot offering? This charter pilot is offering less stress on that business executive who's like already up to their eyeballs in stress and pressure. So there's a feeling there that you can tap into. Let me eliminate the stress of finding who's going to pilot you everywhere. And let me offer my charter services. And then you can kind of lean into writing your messaging that way and focusing on the stress relief that somebody is going to have. So think about that really key feeling and get that written down. Maybe it's a couple feelings, but I would recommend narrowing it down to like, what's the thing that my customer wants to hear? What's the main thing? And repeat that over and over again in your messaging. Let's get into keywords. We already talked about why keywords are important because of SEO, because repetition helps drive home the message. What are some keywords you want to be associated with your business? What are some keywords that would probably attract the wrong person? You've got a place in your worksheet to work this out and to make a list. And I would start with some real obvious ones and then kind of get more granular or more specific or even more creative in your list. I recommend making a list of like 15 to 20 to start with. And then within that, kind of pinpointing maybe 4 or 5 that you bring up a lot. And this isn't necessarily for SEO reasons. This is more for, again, repeating the key things that you know your customer really wants to hear. If you do too many things, then again, your copy is going to get confusing. So let's narrow it down, but let's keep the bigger list of keywords handy so that we can repeat that in stuff that we write online, because that is what helps with your SEO. So a longer list for SEO and a condensed list for your copy effectiveness and for your customer to really cling to. So some examples of what are some keywords that would attract the wrong person. Let's say you sell more high-end products and you want to be careful about attracting people who are just going for affordability or cheap. Affordability, inexpensive, those would be a couple of keywords that would go on your negative list that you're like, I'm not going to put that anywhere because that's not who we are. Maybe you're a dance instructor and experience level is a factor in what you offer. So your copy is not going to include keywords like beginner because you're offering dance classes for people who are more intermediate, advanced dancers. You're like going to take them to the next level in their career. So you want to be careful about, dance classes for all ages, because that's probably not really true. Dance classes for beginners, you're going to leave that out. And you're going to want to instead be very specific about intermediate, advanced dancers. That's going to be in your copy, and you're not going to use keywords that confuse people. Another final example of this, for my business, I've leaned into startup marketing systems, but even more specifically for business owners who are at the startup launch phase through the first 3 years of business. So I'm weeding some people out there, but that's a good thing. And I have to be careful not to make a lot of my messaging around like full service marketing, because I'm not leaning into that anymore. And let me tell you, you might be afraid, oh, if I'm too specific, then I'm not going to get any business because I'm leaving so many people out. That actually doesn't happen. The flip happens. When you are confident in what you offer and when you're putting yourself out there really well, then you actually will bring in leads that maybe aren't the perfect fit for what your niche is, but that still are seeing you out there and wondering, hey, does she do full service marketing for a business? I wonder if, like, she seems like someone I would like to work with. And I get that. I get people who are like, hey, I know that you do such and such. And I'm like, I'm glad you know that, because that means I was clear in my marketing. But do you also offer, and I can have a one-off conversation with that person and be like, yeah, I'll do full service marketing. Let's see if this is going to work. So you will still have opportunities for that. But if you're leaning into something specific, then your marketing is going to get better, and you're going to get even those types of leads, and they're going to be better for you. So let's move on. Those are the keywords that you want to get kind of pinpointed. I want to talk about a business name really quick, because if you're early in building your business and you're kind of wrestling with what the name should be, or if it's not jiving with what we're about to talk about and it's early and you can change your business name, then that might be something that you want to think about, because a business name really should be strategic. It should have some thought behind it. So let's talk a little bit about that. It needs to have selling potential and search power. Selling potential means easy to remember, makes sense for the product or service. It's easy to pronounce. A name, a word that you're using in your business name, oh my gosh, I could really get on a soapbox about this, that nobody knows how to pronounce, or everybody's pronouncing a different way. That drives your audience crazy. You might know how to pronounce it. Congratulations. But the rest of us are out here like, And then I feel like we're being all shy about it. We're like, we're trying to tell our friend, hey, it's this business and I just bought shoes from them, but I don't really know how to say the name. That is going to harm your business more than you realize. Like, imagine people having a conversation about your business and being like weird about how to pronounce the name. And then they don't even know how to spell it. Like, so don't do that. Name your business something that's easy to pronounce, please. And then if you can use words in your business name that ignite a feeling, even better. Not all of us really can do that. Depends kind of on our business and our industry, what we sell, but it gets better if you can kind of associate it with a feeling or like a strong adjective or something. Search power for a name. First of all, it includes keywords that people would search to get what you're offering. And so if you are a travel agency, I know travel agency sounds boring, but you should probably just put that in your business name because people are going to be searching for that. It isn't too similar to other brands that it will get confused in a search. A really, really good example of this are the brands that are serving a local geography, and they end up with like that similar name because they're all in the same place. So I've got a quick example of, let's say you're a nail spa owner and there's already a nail spa in the city that's called Charlotte Nail Spa. And you're like, oh, they're in Charlotte Nail Spa. Maybe I should be Nail Spa of Charlotte. I would recommend not choosing that. Yes, Charlotte helps a little bit with your search, but I think you're also going to end up in search results kind of competing with that other business. Your customers are going to kind of try to find you after coming to you the first time and be like, wait, is it that? Is it that? I can't remember which one it is. It just ends up confusing. You can probably think of an example where you were trying to remember a business name and you were like searching for it and it brought up other businesses and you're like, I don't really know which one it is because all the names are so similar. So just be aware of that. Also, your business name should work as its own domain. So you should be able to find the URL. You can test this before you finalize your business name. Like go in and type in lindsaywagnon.com and see if it's available. So that's another just kind of final thing to check off your list when you're picking a business name. All right, so in your worksheet, we're going to be at the tagline tryout. Workshop your tagline, but with workshopping your tagline, you also are kind of workshopping subtitles that you can put into your marketing in places. This also can help with choosing calls to action. So this really goes a long way because we're going to work on how to figure out that like one-liner phrase that summarizes our business. A great tagline is going to confirm that your customer is in the right place and it's going to ward off leads that are not a fit. We're kind of bringing in everything together that we just talked about. So you can work this out in your worksheet, but you're going to start with, okay, what do I offer? I offer it so my specific customer, and you can be pretty, specific and clear about this in your workshopping it, can get or feel or transform into, and then say what they want to hear. That thing that your ideal customer is like, I need energy. I don't necessarily need to find time to work out as much as I need the energy that I'm going to get from the workout. So that's what you're going after. And you can work on this in that worksheet. And then finally, some tips on that. Simple and direct. Just start with simple and direct. Don't try to be too creative. And then you can work on the creativity or switching out some words maybe that have a little bit more power and punch to them as you're kind of finalizing your tagline. So a good example of that is we talked about the fitness coach who offers on-demand of workouts. So like on demand would have a little bit more punch to it than like convenient. So that's what I mean by then find a way to kind of switch a couple things out and make it like, ooh, that's good. Make sure your tagline states any major need to knows. Good examples of this are, let's say, I'm talking about my marketing systems that I build, and my audience is kind of going, okay, she builds marketing systems, cool. What scope of project is that? Am I signing this person on for like a big 6-month build? Is it going to take forever? Well, maybe I decide, you know what, I'm going to eliminate that confusion, and I'm going to put in my tagline, um, 2-week automated marketing systems for your small business. It's like, oh, she builds these in 2 weeks. All right, that's more like it. I can do that. We'll get it knocked out, checked off the list, and then I'll have my automation set up. Awesome. So that's like a pretty critical need to know that really helps my potential customer be sold on what I'm offering. Another example of that is maybe you serve a specific area. So you're in this city and you serve this city. You want to make sure your tagline includes, residential home builder for, blah, blah, blah area. Be specific. That also is super helpful for search. And then once you've got this mapped out, if there are fluff words, cut them out, get them out of there. Don't say a word that doesn't need to be in the sentence. If you're wondering if there are fluff words, then say the sentence leaving that word out. Does it still make sense? Then get it out of there. Does it not make sense? Are most people going to feel like that word needs to be in there? Okay, then you leave it in. All right, the third component to our core brand messaging is the boilerplate. The boilerplate's just a fancy word of a like 4 to 5 sentence overview of a business. It's the type of thing that goes at the bottom of a press release, maybe a guest blog, like maybe it's that piece of your website that's kind of down below the headline and the tagline, and then you've got more of a fuller description. Emails, maybe you put this in the bottom of emails. It can include a few of the extra aspects of the business that you kind of couldn't fit when you were brainstorming your titles or your taglines. It can get a little bit more descriptive about your business and explain further what your business is about, who you serve, what it includes. So that's really a boilerplate. There's a space where you can learn a little bit more about this and how to write a good boilerplate description on the worksheet. If you get stuck with your marketing copywriting, then here are some pointers that I have for getting unstuck. First of all, bring it back to who. Go back to the beginning of what we talked about here and really think, okay, who is it that I really want to work with? And then imagine that person in front of you at a coffee shop, and you're chatting about it, and you're trying to get it down to, all right, what do I really want to say to this person? What is going to make it clear to them what I offer or how I can help, or what my products would do to change their life, or even just enhance their day. So think about that person, get that person in your mind. Be careful about trying to speak to like a big audience. We can kind of tend to get into the mindset of imagining 500 people in front of us and we have to say it to all of them. Don't do that. Just say it to one person who is that perfect fit for your ideal client. Processing out loud really helps. Talking something through with a friend really helps. They can give you feedback on the spot and be like, okay, but I'm still not really understanding. Like, what are you trying to say? So do this with someone you trust. Focus on core brand messaging. Don't overthink the small content. Get your core brand messaging right first. And then you'll have so much clarity around, oh, yes, this is what I want to keep saying. And your brainstorming and your workshopping on the worksheet is going to help with this. So fill those notes out and put your main thoughts down. And then your other kind of content is going to get clearer and easier to write. And then finally, get feedback from the people that matter most, the people that are your ideal customer. Maybe you're not working with anybody yet and you want to find those customers, but your friend kind of fits the description and maybe they're going somewhere else. Like maybe you're a hairstylist and you go to church with some people who are your perfect customer, but they already have their hairstylist. Well, just talk to them anyway and be like, I'm building my salon business and I know you go to somewhere else, but can you just help me think through like what do you love about a salon experience? What do you not like so much about it? What can I do with my salon experience and how can I explain it in a way that like somebody like you would really appreciate? They'd be totally willing to help you with that. So go ahead and get feedback from people that fit that ideal client mold. And then as you're starting to work with people, make sure you are asking for feedback. This is something that we build into the marketing system in Savvy Startup. We are asking for feedback after we work with people. It's on automation. So we are making sure we're getting their thoughts and their help building our business and improving on our business. And that's also going to help in how we write our copy. Okay. Hopefully there was a lot in this that was helpful. I would love to know about it. You can find a way to contact me and let me know, or maybe even a feedback survey in the email that you have where you got this training from, or if you're in the Savvy Startup course as a student, hit that discussion button. Let me know what was helpful. Let me know what you need more clarity on. I am totally willing to follow up and help out more. And you know what? You are my ideal client, like we were talking about. So anything that you can offer me as feedback or follow up to this workshop will help me so much in making sure I can continue to serve you better. And grab that worksheet now, go workshop what we talked about, put those thoughts on paper, and then let me know how it goes.